The path you've walked, the experiences you've faced, the tears you've cried, all of it has led you to this exact moment in time. It wasn't random. It wasn't by mistake. You see, the universe didn't just let you meander through life and suddenly land here. It has been positioning you. This message isn't a random set of words or a fleeting moment of inspiration. It's a revelation, a divine message that is speaking directly to the core of your spirit. You were chosen for this, and everything in your life has led you to this singular moment. The timing isn't coincidental. Heaven didn't just happen to let you discover this. This is a moment of divine intervention, a supernatural setup, placed in your path with purpose. You weren't searching for this truth. Heaven brought it to you, because it's time for you to hear it. It's hard to imagine, isn't it, that the very message you are about to receive is part of a grander plan that has been unfolding behind the scenes of your life, even when you couldn't see it. For years, you may have wondered, questioned, or doubted why things turned out the way they did. Why did your journey take you through struggles, heartaches, and moments of uncertainty? Why did it feel like the world had left you behind, while everyone else seemed to be moving forward? You've been asking yourself, when will it be my turn? Let me tell you now, it's your time. The very timing of this moment has been orchestrated by heaven. You've been walking through a season of silence, of waiting, of preparation, and though you may have thought it was all meaningless, the truth is, it was all building up to this moment. Heaven was silently working behind the scenes, aligning every event, every decision, every seemingly random encounter. All of it was a part of the grand design that led you to this very moment. The world may call it coincidence. They may tell you that things just happen the way they do. But heaven knows better. The hand of God has been guiding you, even when you couldn't feel it. Even when it seemed like you were alone, heaven was with you every step of the way, positioning you for the ultimate revelation. This moment isn't just some random encounter. It's a divine appointment. The words you are reading right now are not by chance. They are a key to unlocking a part of your destiny that has been lying dormant, waiting for this exact moment to be revealed. You were never lost. You were never forgotten. You were always being prepared. Heaven was shaping you, molding you, and now, it's time for you to be unveiled. What you're about to receive will challenge everything you thought you knew about your life. It will shake your foundation, stir your spirit, and open your eyes to the truth that's been right in front of you all along. Heaven has been preparing you for this very moment. And when it comes, the world will have no choice but to stand in awe at the divine revelation of who you truly are. This isn't just a message, it's a divine shockwave, set to reverberate through every part of your life. Everything you thought you knew about your limitations, your future, your purpose, it's all about to be rewritten. And the best part? You're not just receiving this message by chance. You're being positioned for something much bigger. You are about to step into a moment that has been divinely orchestrated just for you. Get ready. The shockwave is coming. The ultimate revelation is unfolding right now, and it's about to change everything. Heaven's timing is perfect, and it's your time to rise, to shine, and to step into the destiny that has always been yours. This is just the beginning. The world won't recognize you once this revelation is fully realized. You are about to experience a shift that will leave the world stunned and will forever change your life. This is no accident. This is your divine moment, and it's happening now. Let me tell you something that will change the way you see everything. They thought you were forgotten, but heaven was just waiting for the right time to make you undeniable. While they were busy writing you off, dismissing your potential, and assuming that your silence was a sign of weakness, God was working on you in secret. You may have felt overlooked, passed over, and abandoned by those who promised you a future. The world may have turned its back on you, thinking you were irrelevant, insignificant, or no longer worth their attention. But here's the truth they'll never tell you: God never forgot you. In fact, He's been orchestrating every detail of your life, and every moment of waiting, every period of silence, was part of His perfect plan. The world didn't see it, but heaven was moving behind the scenes, aligning everything for your divine unveiling. They didn't understand that God wasn't absent during your waiting season. He was preparing you for a greatness they couldn't even comprehend. The silence they mistook for stagnation was actually the fire refining your purpose. They thought your story had come to an end, but God was just getting started. What they saw as a setback, God was using as a setup for your greatest breakthrough. Think about it. How many times did you feel invisible, unnoticed, and lost in the crowd? How many moments did you cry out in desperation, wondering if anyone saw the real you, the version that's destined for greatness? God saw you. He never lost sight of you. In fact, He was quietly positioning you for the moment when the world would see your true value. They didn't see your potential because they weren't supposed to. The vision God has for you was too big for their limited perspective. They couldn't understand that your preparation was your strength, and that strength was about to rise like a tidal wave, crashing over everything in its path. Ecclesiastes 3:11. He has made everything beautiful in its time. God's time is never too late. The world may have moved on, but heaven's timing has always been perfect. They thought you were forgotten, but God was waiting for the right moment to make you undeniable. And now, that moment has arrived. The very people who overlooked you, who doubted your journey, who dismissed your quiet seasons as weakness, they will soon be forced to reckon with the power of heaven's timing. Here's what they'll never expect. You're about to rise in a way that will leave them speechless. They won't understand how it happened so suddenly. They won't realize that behind the scenes, heaven was positioning you, moving mountains, opening doors, and making ways where there seemed to be none. What they thought was your obscurity was actually the incubator for your destiny. And now, you are about to step into your undeniable greatness. The world may not have seen it coming, but heaven knew all along that your time was inevitable. This moment was written for you, and the wait is over. The shift is happening. The time for you to be undeniable has arrived, and no one can stop what heaven has already set in motion. Get ready. What you thought was a period of abandonment was actually the stage for your greatest rise. And when the world sees you emerge, they will know that heaven's timing was worth every second. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared. And now, you will be undeniable. Do you want to know why your silence terrified them? Why the stillness they saw in you unsettled those who doubted your journey? Here's the truth they didn't understand. Your silence was never your defeat. In fact, it was your most powerful season of preparation. While they mocked your quietness and assumed that your lack of noise meant a lack of progress, God was quietly working in the background, shaping you, refining you, and building you into something undeniable. They saw your silence and thought it meant you were irrelevant, that you had nothing to offer, or that you had been left behind. They assumed that because they couldn't hear your voice, you had nothing to say. But they missed it. They didn't see the strength God was cultivating in you in those hidden moments. What they didn't realize is that, while they were busy talking and doubting, you were quietly being refined by fire, strengthened by the Holy Spirit, and positioned for a purpose far greater than they could ever comprehend. While the world was loud with noise and distractions, heaven was silent, working in the secret places, building you for the breakthrough that would silence every doubter. You weren't stagnant in your silence. You were being built for greatness. The world didn't see it, but heaven knew that your quiet strength would soon roar louder than any of their voices ever could. Bible reference: Isaiah 40-31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. In your silence, you were not defeated, you were being renewed. You were being strengthened in ways no one could see. But heaven was preparing you for the moment when your strength would be undeniable. What you thought was your moment of stillness, what felt like abandonment to you, was actually your moment of divine refinement. The world didn't hear your prayers, but heaven heard every cry. Heaven felt every tear. God was with you in the silence, preparing you for something greater than you ever imagined. Let's address the lie head on. Silence is not defeat. You've been led to believe that your quietness signifies that you have nothing to offer, that the absence of noise and movement around you means you're falling behind. They've made you feel that if you're not constantly hustling, constantly being seen, or constantly speaking out, you are somehow irrelevant or forgotten. But let me make this clear, once and for all. Your silence was never a sign of weakness. It was not a setback. It was strength being cultivated in the unseen. It was God quietly building you into someone who would one day rise with a power so undeniable, so world-shattering, that every person who doubted you would be left speechless. Think back to the moments when they whispered about you, when people questioned why you weren't more vocal, more active, more successful according to the standards of the world. They watched you, waiting for you to fall. They saw your silence and assumed it was a sign of failure. They thought you were shrinking, hiding, or giving up. What they didn't see, what they couldn't understand, was that God was working on you in ways they couldn't comprehend. The silence you endured was never stagnation. It was your preparation. God didn't forget you. He didn't abandon you in that quiet season. Instead, He was refining you. In the private places where no one could see, He was shaping you, building your character, strengthening your resolve, and making you ready for the elevation that was coming. What they mistook as complacency was actually the deepest season of growth and transformation you could have had. Your silence was a sacred process, and now the world will see the power that was birthed in that quiet place. They didn't realize that while they were moving and making noise, you were being quietly transformed into the person you were always meant to be. They didn't see the fire refining you in secret, but now the fire is about to be seen, and it will blaze brighter than anything they ever imagined. The silence wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to build you into someone who would stand firm, unshaken, and unbreakable. God knew the world wouldn't understand it, but He was preparing you for greatness beyond measure. And here's the thing. Those same people who doubted your silence, those who criticized you for being still and quiet, they will be the first ones to watch in awe as you rise. They'll wonder how they could have been so blind. They'll ask themselves how they ever misjudged you, how they missed the signs, how they failed to see the potential that was quietly being nurtured in you. The silence that once terrified them will become your testimony of power. The very thing they thought would cause you to fade away will be the force that launches you into your destiny. Bible reference, 2 Corinthians 12:10, "For when I am weak, then I am strong." You were not weak in your silence. No, you were being made strong. The quietness was not your defeat. It was the moment when heaven was preparing you for something far bigger than what the world could see. That strength, forged in the silence, will carry you through every challenge, every obstacle, and every moment of doubt. The moments when you felt overlooked or abandoned, they were the building blocks of the strength that will now carry you into your destiny. They thought your silence meant weakness, but it was in those very quiet places where your true strength was birthed. And when your strength is revealed, when the power that was quietly built in secret is unleashed, it will shake the world. Those who laughed at you, who misunderstood your stillness, will be left in awe. They won't recognize the person you once were. You are stepping into your divine purpose, and nothing, no voice, no opinion, no force of resistance will be able to stop it. What they feared was actually your foundation. You are no longer the quiet one hiding in the shadows. You are the one who has been refined, fortified, and prepared in the secret places. And now, the world will see the strength that has been silently growing inside of you. They thought you were silent because you had nothing to offer. But now they will see that your silence was the birthplace of something they will never be able to deny. The strength you've gained in the quiet will be the very thing that propels you to heights you never thought possible. The world doesn't understand the immense power hidden in silence. They look at you, and because they don't see the external signs of progress, because they can't see the hustle, the effort, the visible achievements, they assume that nothing is happening. They believe that if you're not constantly speaking up, if you're not racing to climb to the next rung of the ladder, or if you're not pushing, striving, and striving some more to prove your worth, then you must be falling behind. But here's the truth they'll never understand. God works in the silence. In the stillness where the world can't see, He is refining you. He is strengthening your spirit. He is shaping you into something much greater than they ever realized. They didn't witness the deep, silent pain you carried. They didn't see the emotional battles you fought in secret, the nights you stayed awake wrestling with doubt, loneliness, or fear. They didn't hear the whispers of your heart, crying out to God when no one was around to listen. But you did. You felt every tear, every heartache, every moment of silence that seemed endless. And in all of it, what they didn't see, what no one could have seen, is that God was there. In the quiet, He was building your strength. In the hidden moments, He was preparing you for something greater than you ever imagined. What you once thought were seasons of isolation, seasons of waiting, seasons of uncertainty and fear, were in fact the moments where God was training you. Every test, every trial, every single moment of silence that seemed like defeat was actually shaping you into the person you need to become. It was a time when your spirit was being forged. The quiet, the solitude, the feeling of being overlooked, it was all part of divine preparation. You didn't know it then, but each moment of silence was essential to your transformation. It was building your endurance, your character, and your ability to handle the weight of the greatness that God was preparing for you. Now, as you step into your destiny, those silent moments will make sense. The world may look at you and try to question your rise, but they won't understand that the silence was never your defeat. It was your preparation. And when you emerge from this season, when you stand in the fullness of your purpose, the strength that God has built in you will be undeniable. The quietness that once intimidated others, that once made them think you were weak or irrelevant, will now be seen for what it truly was. The very thing that made you into the strong, unshakable person you are today. Don't let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them question why you've been silent, why you've waited, why you haven't rushed into the spotlight like everyone else. Because when God is finished with you, when He reveals the work He has done in you, there will be no room for doubt. You will stand tall, unmovable, and unrecognizable from the person you once were. And when they see the strength, the purpose, and the power that God has placed inside of you, they won't be able to say a word. They will be forced to acknowledge that the silence, which they once misunderstood, was the very thing that prepared you to rise to heights they never thought possible. God has used that silence to perfect you, to make you ready for your moment. And now, that moment is coming. When it does, everything will change. The world won't recognize you because the version of you that emerges will be a divine masterpiece, one that only God could have crafted in the quiet. They looked at you in your moments of peace and assumed it meant you were complacent. They saw your calm, your stillness, and in their eyes, it was a sign that you were settling for mediocrity, that you had stopped striving, that you had given up on the fight. But let me make one thing perfectly clear. What they misunderstood as complacency was actually divine preparation. What they failed to realize is that your peace wasn't a lack of ambition. It wasn't a sign of weakness or defeat. No, it was the quiet strength of someone who knew the battle wasn't over. It was just being fought differently. You weren't running around frantically, trying to prove yourself or striving to get ahead of everyone else. You were being prepared for something much greater than what they could ever understand. There's power in peace. True peace is the calm before the storm. While the world was busy chasing after what's fleeting, you were being positioned for what's eternal. You weren't rushing. You weren't trying to make things happen in your own strength. You were resting in the assurance that heaven's timing would bring about everything you've been waiting for. And now, the storm is coming, but it's not the storm they expected. The storm that's coming is the one that will launch you into your divine destiny. The same people who assumed your peace was your complacency will be the first to watch in shock as you rise to take your place in the world. They thought you were stuck. They thought you had given up. But while they were busy running, you were being quietly prepared for the unshakable foundation that would sustain you when the winds of change begin to blow. You see, you weren't just waiting, you were being renewed. Every moment of stillness was an opportunity for your strength to be restored, your spirit to be revived, and your mind to be aligned with heaven's purpose. What they thought was stagnation was the very thing that gave you the resilience you needed to move forward. Now, you are not just prepared, you are positioned in the perfect place to receive everything that's coming your way. The peace that they thought was complacency will soon be seen for what it truly was, a preparation for the breakthrough that is about to unfold in your life. The world couldn't understand why you weren't striving like everyone else, but heaven knew exactly what it was doing. While they were busy running after temporary gains, you were being quietly positioned to take hold of something far greater than they ever imagined. And when your breakthrough comes, when the moment arrives, it will be undeniable. The very peace they mistook for complacency will be the source of your strength, your stability, and your rise. You were never complacent. You were never stagnant. You were simply being prepared in the silence, in the calm, in the waiting. And now, that preparation is about to explode into something the world won't be able to ignore. They'll see what you were always meant to be, and they'll realize they were wrong to ever doubt you. Your peace was not complacency. It was the foundation for everything that's coming next. And when the world sees the strength that was born in your stillness, they will understand that heaven's plan for you was never about rushing. It was about being perfectly positioned to receive the greatness that's now on its way. Get ready for something that will shake the foundations of everything you've known. The time of silence is over. The moment of vindication is upon you. The work that God has been quietly doing in your life, the preparation that nobody saw, the strength that has been built behind closed doors, all of it is about to be revealed in the most shocking way. The world has no idea what's coming, but you can feel it in your spirit. The shift is imminent. The time for your unseen preparation to be fully revealed is now. You see, people have been watching from the sidelines, believing they knew the story. They've seen your struggles, your quiet moments, your so-called setbacks. They thought they knew your limitations, your potential, your weaknesses, but what they didn't see, what they couldn't possibly have understood, is the unseen work that has been taking place. They didn't know about the private battles you fought, the prayers whispered in the dark, the tears no one witnessed, and the growth that happened in secret. God has been doing something in you, behind the scenes, that is now about to burst forth in a way that will stun everyone. And it's going to be undeniable. You've been quietly prepared for greatness. The world thought you were stagnant, they thought you were stuck, and they thought you were small. But now, heaven is about to reveal the truth that you were never stagnant. You were simply being made ready for something far greater than they could have imagined. The work that God has done in your life, that nobody saw, is about to be laid bare for everyone to witness. Bible reference, 1 Peter 5-6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Your time has come. The world will now see the full extent of what heaven has been preparing in secret. They'll question how you rose so suddenly. They'll wonder where you came from, how you got here so fast, and how you accomplished what seemed impossible. But the truth will be clear. You didn't get here by accident. You didn't rise by chance. Every single moment of silence, every seemingly insignificant step, every setback, it was all part of a divine plan that has been unfolding in the unseen. And now, that plan is coming to light. Get ready for the shocking twist. People will question how your rise was so sudden. They'll wonder how you got there so quickly. People will be stunned. They'll be asking themselves, how did they get there so quickly? They'll see your rise and question everything they thought they knew about you. They'll wonder where you found the strength, the opportunity, the wisdom, the success, because from where they stand, it seems like it happened in an instant. One day, you were just another face in the crowd, and the next, you're standing at the top of your game, undeniable, unstoppable, and unrecognizable to those who thought they knew you. But this isn't an accident. This wasn't a fluke. What they don't realize is that all of this has been in the works for years. Heaven has been preparing you for this moment in ways that no one could see. While they assumed you were stuck, God was aligning the pieces of your life, working behind the scenes, putting everything in place for your divine rise. And when it happens, when the fullness of your preparation is revealed, they won't be able to comprehend how you got there so quickly. They didn't see the sleepless nights, the prayers in secret, the silent work, and the discipline that you put in when no one was watching. They didn't see the sacrifices you made, the challenges you overcame, or the moments of doubt that you turned into strength. None of that was wasted. Every single step, every trial, every quiet moment, it was building you for what's coming. And now, it's time for the world to see it. You will rise, and it will be impossible for anyone to deny the hand of God in your life. Bible reference, Habakkuk 2-3. The vision awaits its appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. They may wonder how it all happened so fast, but what they don't know is that this was always the appointed time. The divine plan for your life was set into motion long ago, and everything has been leading to this moment. The rise that will leave them questioning their assumptions, their judgments, and their doubts. This is your time of vindication. The work that God has done in you, unseen by human eyes, is about to be revealed in the most undeniable, shocking way. And when it happens, they'll see that it was never sudden, it was always part of God's perfect plan, unfolding exactly when He knew the world was ready to see it. The vindication you've longed for is now on the horizon. And when it arrives, nothing will stand in its way. They looked at you and assumed they knew the full story. They saw your quiet moments, the times you seemed absent or still, and they thought they understood your journey. But what they didn't know, what they couldn't have possibly understood, was that there was a secret work happening in your life. A work that was hidden from their eyes. Behind the scenes, heaven was moving, aligning, and preparing you for something greater than they could ever have imagined. And now, what they missed in the shadows is about to be revealed in the most powerful, undeniable way. The world watched as you went through seasons of waiting, of silence, of moments that seemed like setbacks. They assumed you were stuck, that you weren't progressing, that your story had reached its limit. But in reality, heaven was at work in ways they couldn't see, preparing you for what's next. The growth, the transformation, the spiritual preparation, all of it was happening in secret, in the quiet places, where only heaven could witness your refining. And now, it's time for the world to see the results of that secret work. Bible reference, Isaiah 45-3. I will give you hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places, so that you may know that I am the Lord, the God of Israel, who summons you by name. What they thought was hidden in darkness, what they assumed was going unnoticed, was actually the most powerful work of your life being done in secret. Heaven doesn't work in subtlety. It works in divine timing. And that timing is now. The treasure that was stored up in the quiet, the strength that was forged in the unseen, it's about to be revealed in a way that will leave everyone in awe. It won't be subtle. It won't be something that can be ignored or overlooked. This revelation will shake the foundations of everything they thought they knew about you, about your journey, and about what God has been doing in your life. The moment of revelation is coming, and it will be so powerful, so undeniable, that it will force everyone to recognize the work God has done in you. They will see the transformation, the strength, and the greatness that were built in secret, and they will be left speechless. You've spent years in preparation, working behind the scenes in silence, while the world turned its attention elsewhere. But now, God is about to pull back the curtain, and everything you've been working on, everything you've been becoming, will be revealed. No one will be able to deny it, and no one will be able to ignore the power of what's about to unfold. Your rise will be so undeniable that even those who doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge the divine hand behind it. They will see what they didn't see before: the growth, the power, the potential that was always there, hidden in the secret places where only God could work. And when it is revealed, it will not be in whispers or subtle hints. It will be an explosion of power, purpose, and glory that no one can deny. Matthew 5:14. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. You are that city on a hill. You are the light that has been quietly building, growing, and strengthening, but now your time to shine has come. The work that was done in secret will soon be brought into the open, and it will be so powerful that no one will be able to deny the authority of heaven in your life. You were never meant to stay hidden. Heaven's timing was always leading you to this moment, where the secrets of your journey would be revealed in their full glory. So get ready, because the hidden work that you've done, the unseen strength that you've gained, is about to explode into the world, and it won't be subtle. The world won't recognize you once you step into the full force of what heaven has been doing behind the scenes. Your moment of revelation is here, and it's going to be more powerful than anyone ever imagined. Peter 5:6. Humble yourselves therefore under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. This verse carries a profound and powerful message about the process of divine elevation. It's a reminder that the path to greatness, recognition, and fulfillment isn't through our own striving, but through our humility and submission to God's will. For so long, you may have struggled against the current, trying to make things happen in your own strength. You may have wondered why things weren't unfolding faster, or why it seemed like the doors weren't opening for you when you were doing everything you could to move forward. But God's process is not like the world's process, and that's where his greatest work happens. The world often tells us to hustle, to constantly push, to always seek the spotlight, to take control of our own fate. But God's word flips that notion on its head. Humble yourselves under God's mighty hand. This doesn't mean you are passive or lack ambition. It means you trust in God's timing and sovereignty. You let go of the need to control every aspect of your life and instead surrender to his perfect plan. Humility here is not about weakness. It's about strength in surrender. It's about recognizing that God's ways are higher than ours and trusting that he sees the bigger picture, even when we can't. For so long, you may have felt like you were waiting for something that just wasn't coming. You worked in silence, remained patient in seasons of drought, and endured moments when the world seemed to move on without you. There were times when you questioned why you weren't being seen, why your efforts didn't seem to be paying off. But what you didn't know was that in those moments, God was working on you, refining you, preparing you for a purpose far greater than you could have imagined. Every trial, every struggle, every quiet season was part of his plan to build your character, strengthen your faith, and equip you for the moment of your divine elevation. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand. This phrase is a powerful invitation to let go of the pressure to make things happen on your own. It's a call to step aside and trust that when God is ready, he will elevate you. His hand is mighty, and it is always at work in your life, even when you don't see it. God's hand is not just a force that guides you, it's also a hand that lifts you when the time is right. It's the hand that carries you through your hardest moments and brings you to the place where you are not just surviving, you're thriving, victorious, and seen by the world in the way he intended. When you trust in God's timing, when you humble yourself under his hand, you're surrendering to the perfect process that will eventually lift you up. And when he lifts you up, it won't be subtle. It won't be a quiet rise. It will be a powerful elevation that leaves the world in awe. People will look at you and wonder how it all happened so fast, how you got to this point of success, peace, or power when they had written you off, doubted your abilities, or dismissed your potential. But the truth is, this was always part of God's plan. It will happen in due time, exactly when he knows you're ready to handle it, exactly when he has prepared you to carry the weight of what he is about to release. In due time, This is the most important part. God's timing is never late. His timing is always perfect, even when we don't understand it. The waiting, the quiet seasons, the moments of frustration, they were all part of the refining process. They were preparing you for a moment that will be marked by divine favor, divine recognition, and divine elevation. The world will see it, and they won't be able to deny that it was God who lifted you up, who brought you into your rightful place of purpose. In those seasons of silence and struggle, you may have thought God was absent, that he wasn't paying attention, or that he had forgotten about you. But let me assure you, God was never absent. He was preparing you. The moments of stillness were the moments he was shaping your heart, molding your spirit, and building your character. He was giving you the strength and resilience to carry the weight of the blessings that are now coming your way. When you humble yourself before his mighty hand, he is able to lift you higher than you could ever elevate yourself. When God lifts you up in due time, it won't be a subtle process. People will look at your rise and question how you got there. They will wonder how someone who was once overlooked, dismissed, or written off could suddenly step into such favor, success, or recognition. And the truth is, it won't be your doing. It will be the result of God's perfect timing, his faithful work behind the scenes, and his mighty hand lifting you up at exactly the right moment. So trust in his process. Trust in his timing. Your moment is coming, and when it does, it will be undeniable. The world will see that you were never forgotten, never abandoned, never overlooked. You were simply being prepared for the elevation God had planned for you all along. And when he lifts you up, it will be in a way that no one can deny it was his hand at work. Humble yourselves under God's mighty hand. When you do, he will lift you up in due time, and the world will stand in awe of what God has done in your life. Divine unveiling. The world won't recognize the version of you that's emerging. The moment of your unveiling is upon you. The version of you that's about to emerge will leave the world speechless. For so long, they have looked at you, made assumptions, and written you off based on what they saw on the surface. They didn't see the real you. They didn't know the depth of the power that was quietly being built inside of you. But now, heaven is about to pull back the curtain, and when it does, the world will not recognize you. You have spent years, perhaps even decades, in preparation, in the silence, in the unseen. You were being transformed. Every setback, every trial, every time you were overlooked, it was all part of the divine process that was shaping you into someone the world could never have imagined. You were not who they thought you were. You were never who they assumed you to be. Now, the time has come for the world to see the true version of you, and it will not be subtle. It will be an unveiling so powerful, so undeniable, that no one will be able to deny what heaven has been doing in your life. From silence to supernatural visibility. For years, you walked in silence, in secrecy, in places that were hidden from the world's view. You were ignored, dismissed, or underestimated by those who couldn't see the depth of your potential. But what they didn't understand is that your silence was never a sign of weakness. It was a sign of divine preparation. In the quiet, you were being made ready for something far greater than they could ever comprehend. And now, that silence is about to be broken. Your emergence is coming, and it will be nothing short of supernatural. The world won't just notice you. They'll have no choice but to reckon with the truth. The truth that you were never ordinary. You were always destined for greatness, and heaven was simply working behind the scenes, preparing you for this moment. The version of you that is emerging is not one of yesterday. It's not the version they thought they knew or the one they wrote off. This is the new you, the one who has been forged in secret, the one who has been refined in the fire, the one who is walking in divine purpose, unstoppable and undeniable. And when the world sees this version of you, they will have to reckon with the truth. You were never invisible. You were simply being prepared for this moment. Your identity is no longer in question. It's your time to reclaim what was always yours. You no longer have to explain who you are. Your identity is no longer up for debate. There was a time when you may have questioned your worth, your purpose, your place in this world. You may have wondered if you would ever rise, if your moment would ever come. But now, the time has arrived for you to reclaim what was always yours. Your destiny is no longer a distant dream, it's a living, breathing reality. The world underestimated you. They thought you were just like everyone else. They mistook your quietness for weakness, your patience for passivity, your humility for insecurity. But now, the truth will be undeniable. What was once hidden will now be revealed. And when it's revealed, the world won't recognize you. They won't recognize the power, the strength, and the divine purpose that has been quietly growing within you all along. The time has come when those who doubted you, those who disrespected you, and those who thought you would never amount to anything, will be left with no choice but to acknowledge your rise. They may have written you off, laughed at your dreams, and dismissed your potential. They saw you as just another face in the crowd, someone they could overlook, belittle, or underestimate without consequence. But heaven had a different plan, and now that plan is about to be revealed in a way that will leave them speechless. For years, you've been walking a path that others couldn't understand. You've been working in silence, putting in the effort, enduring the hardships, and growing in ways that no one saw. They thought your quiet strength meant you had nothing to offer. They misunderstood your patience as complacency, your humility as weakness. What they didn't know, what they couldn't have possibly understood, was that you were being prepared for something greater than they could have ever imagined. And now, as the moment of your rise draws near, they will have no choice but to watch in awe as you step into everything that was promised to you. Philippians 2:10-11. That at the name of Jesus every knee should bow, in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Just as every knee will bow and every tongue will confess the glory of God's power, those who doubted you will be forced to acknowledge your rise, not because you asked for the recognition, not because you sought revenge, but because the undeniable work of God in your life will leave them with no other option but to see the truth. They will see your strength, your purpose, and the hand of God that has been upon you all along. They may have disrespected you, but they won't be able to ignore the divine favor that now rests upon your life. For so long, you've been overlooked. For so long, they've judged you based on what they thought they knew. They laughed at your quiet moments, thinking you would never make it. But now, the tables are turning. You're about to be lifted in a way that they never saw coming. And when it happens, they'll have to reckon with the truth. You are the one God has been preparing, and no one can stop the divine elevation that is about to unfold. It's not about proving anyone wrong. It's not about revenge or getting back at those who didn't believe in you. It's about walking in the authority that God has placed in your life and stepping into your divine destiny. Your rise is not about your personal glory. It's about God's glory being revealed through you. The same people who doubted, who disrespected, who ignored you, they will soon see that everything they thought about you was wrong. They will be forced to recognize that you were never what they assumed you were. You were always a child of destiny, a vessel for divine purpose, and now the world will see that truth. Psalm 23:5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. This verse is the promise that as you rise, you will do so in front of those who tried to hold you back. Your table is being prepared, and it will be set right in front of them. They will watch as you step into your purpose, as you claim what has always been yours, and they will have to recognize that it was never about you proving anything to them. It was always about you walking in the power of heaven's timing. So let them doubt. Let them disrespect you. Let them ignore you. Because when God's time comes to elevate you, there will be no denying your rise. They will be forced to watch you soar, and in doing so, they will be confronted with the truth that you are exactly who heaven always knew you would be. Your rise is inevitable, and their acknowledgement of it will be the undeniable proof of God's favor and power in your life. Romans 8:19. For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. This verse speaks to the profound anticipation of your divine unveiling, not only by the world around you but by all of creation itself. There is a cosmic expectation for the moment when God's children, those destined for greatness, will rise and step into their purpose. The earth itself is waiting, holding its breath for the manifestation of those who carry the divine calling. The ones who have been hidden in plain sight, prepared in silence, and now ready to emerge in the fullness of their destiny. For so long, you may have felt overlooked or ignored by the world, perhaps even by those closest to you. You may have questioned your place, wondering when you would finally step into your purpose and be recognized for who you truly are. But the truth is, you've been preparing for this moment, and so has all of creation. Every challenge you've faced, every silent struggle, every unseen battle, has been leading to the moment when you will be revealed in a way that will not only change your life, but will shake the world around you. Your time to emerge is now, and creation itself is in eager anticipation for the manifestation of the power, purpose, and identity that has been quietly built inside of you. The world underestimated you. They thought they knew who you were based on appearances, assumptions, or surface-level judgments. But heaven knows the truth. You are a child of God, designed for greatness, and all of creation is waiting for the moment when you step into the fullness of your identity and purpose. The time for your revelation has come, and nothing will stop it. Your rise, your purpose, your calling, all of it is part of God's divine plan, and creation itself is aligned with this moment of unveiling. The very foundation of the earth is eagerly anticipating the day when the children of God will rise to take their rightful place, to walk in authority, and to reveal the power that has been growing within them. Your unveiling is not just for you, it's for the world, for creation, and for the glory of God. When you rise, the world will know that heaven's plan is unfolding in a way that can't be ignored. The earth itself will testify to the truth that you were always meant for greatness. The waiting is over. The time is now. Creation is waiting for you to step into your destiny. And when you do, it will be a manifestation that echoes through eternity. All of creation will see the children of God revealed in their full glory, and you are one of them. The time has come for the world to acknowledge who you truly are, and that moment will change everything. There's a shift coming, and it's unstoppable. What's about to happen in your life isn't something that can be delayed, denied, or held back. The power and authority of heaven have been placed upon you, and this divine shift is so significant that not even the forces of the world can resist it. For so long, you've been in the waiting, preparing, growing in silence. But now, the time for your revelation is here, and it's not just going to be a moment, it's going to be a movement that shakes everything in its path. Heaven's authority is not like the world's influence. It doesn't require permission. It doesn't need validation. The blessing you are about to step into has already been ordained, and the divine authority on your life is now too powerful to be stopped. Every door that has been closed, every barrier that has stood in your way, and every person who doubted you will soon find themselves unable to block what heaven has set in motion. This is not the time to explain yourself or your journey. Heaven has already done the work in you, and now the manifestation is coming, no explanations needed. The world may not understand how or why this is happening, but it won't matter. When heaven's authority is behind you, nothing can stand in your way. You've been through the fire, you've endured the process, and now the weight of heaven's authority is upon you, equipping you for the rise that's about to take place. There's nothing the world can throw at you that will stop what's coming. You've been prepared. The obstacles you've faced, the challenges you've overcome, the rejection you've endured, all of it has been part of the preparation. You've been tested and found faithful. The strength, resilience, and authority you now carry have been cultivated in the secret places. Your journey has not been in vain. Every step has been part of the divine plan that is unfolding before your eyes. Now, the blessing you're about to walk into doesn't need permission, approval, or explanation from anyone. You no longer need to justify your progress, your success, or the favor on your life. Your identity has been solidified. You are no longer the person they doubted or misunderstood. You are walking in the fullness of who God has called you to be, and that is a force the world will have to reckon with. For too long, you may have felt the need to explain yourself, to defend your choices, or to justify your journey. You may have found yourself constantly trying to prove to others that you are worthy of the blessings, the success, and the purpose you've been chasing. But let me tell you this, your identity now carries weight, and that weight doesn't need to be explained to anyone. The blessing you're about to walk into speaks for itself. You no longer need to make excuses or offer explanations for who you are, where you're going, or what God is doing in your life. The weight of heaven's authority on your life will make the statement for you. When you walk into the fullness of your purpose, people will know that it was heaven who positioned you, that it was divine favor that opened those doors, and that it was God who lifted you to where you are. You no longer need validation. The blessing you are walking into will be so undeniable that no one will be able to question your identity or your purpose. Your rise will speak volumes without you ever having to say a word. The blessing you carry now is a testimony of what heaven has been working in you all along. And as you step into it, you'll see doors swing wide open, opportunities you never imagined coming to you effortlessly, and a world that can no longer ignore the power and authority you carry. The shift has already started. You've been prepared. And now, with the weight of heaven's authority on your life, nothing can stop what's coming. Your time to shine, to rise, and to reclaim everything that was always meant to be yours is here, and it will speak for itself. Matthew 5:14. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. This verse is a declaration of your divine purpose and visibility. You are the light of the world, and just like a town that sits on a hill, your presence cannot be ignored or hidden. For so long, you may have walked through seasons of silence, obscurity, or invisibility. But understand this, that was never the final destination. It was simply the preparation for the moment when your light would shine brightly, for all to see. The time of hiding is over. You were meant to be visible. You were meant to rise and shine in ways that will draw the attention of the world. The light inside you isn't something that can be extinguished, overlooked, or diminished. Your purpose, your calling, your divine identity, these are all like a city on a hill, impossible to ignore once the moment of unveiling arrives. And that moment is now. The world is waiting for the light you carry to be revealed, and when it shines, it will illuminate everything in its path. The beauty of this verse is in its clarity. You cannot be hidden. Your purpose, your talent, your calling, everything you've been prepared for was never meant to be kept in the shadows. You were destined to be a beacon of hope, a light in a world that desperately needs it. You've been prepared, refined, and positioned for this moment, and now it's time to step into your role as the light of the world. As you rise and step into your divine purpose, the world will have no choice but to recognize the light you carry. You were not made to blend in. You were made to stand out, to be a beacon of hope, truth, and inspiration to those around you. And just as a town built on a hill cannot be hidden, neither can the greatness that is rising within you. The world will see your rise, and they will have to reckon with the light that shines from your life. It's your time to let your light shine and illuminate the world in a way that will leave an undeniable impact. Your identity has always been tied to this truth. You are the light of the world. And now, as you step into the fullness of your purpose, that light will shine brighter than ever before. The world will not be able to ignore you any longer. You are called to rise, to shine, and to make a difference in ways that only you can. This is the moment when your light cannot be hidden any longer. It's time for the world to see the truth of who you are and what you were meant to do. For so long, you've been caught in the endless cycle of striving, pushing, and fighting to make things happen. The world has told you that success is all about hustle, that if you don't fight hard enough, you won't rise. You've been told to hustle harder, to do more, to sacrifice everything to reach the top. But what if I told you that your blessings were never meant to come through striving? What if the real secret to your rise isn't found in your own efforts, but in aligning yourself with divine purpose? Heaven is about to shift you from striving to alignment. This is a divine transition, one where you stop fighting for every step forward and start trusting in the positioning of God. You will no longer struggle to rise, you will be positioned effortlessly. This isn't a message about passive waiting. It's about embracing the divine flow that's already in motion. It's about recognizing that what you've been striving for will come to you, not because you fought tooth and nail to achieve it, but because you've allowed heaven to position you exactly where you need to be. You may have been fighting for so long, struggling to prove your worth, working tirelessly to make your dreams a reality. But now, it's time for a shift. It's time to stop fighting and start receiving. Receiving is a divine act. It's the acknowledgement that everything you've been praying for, everything you've been working toward, is already positioned for you by heaven. You've done the work, you've been faithful in your preparation, and now it's time to align yourself with God's plan and step into the blessings that are already on their way. The shift isn't in your effort, it's in your alignment. You may feel like you've been overlooked, like the doors have remained closed despite all your hard work. But the truth is, God is not asking you to hustle more. He's asking you to align more. When you align with divine timing and purpose, the blessings that were once hard to reach will come to you effortlessly. The favor that once seemed distant will now be within your grasp, not because of your hustle, but because you are exactly where you need to be. The world may have told you that to get ahead, you need to fight tooth and nail, that nothing comes without struggle. But heaven's ways are not the world's ways. You are not meant to strive to rise. You are meant to align with divine purpose, and in doing so, God will position you exactly where you need to be. You are stepping into a season where the doors will open not because of your endless effort, but because you are walking in divine alignment. This is the moment where you stop struggling and start trusting. Trusting that heaven's timing is perfect, that everything you've been through was preparing you for this moment of divine positioning. You won't have to fight for what's yours. It will come to you naturally, as you align your heart, your mind, and your actions with God's will. Your rise will no longer be about fighting against resistance. It will be about flowing with divine favor. You've been prepared, and now, heaven is positioning you to step into your purpose in a way that will feel effortless. The struggle ends here. This is the season of alignment. Everything you've worked for, prayed for, and hoped for is now in the process of being positioned around you. The time for endless striving is over. It's time to step into your divine calling with confidence, knowing that heaven is doing the heavy lifting. You are aligned with divine purpose, and that alignment is what will bring your blessings. The doors will open. The opportunities will come. The favor will flow not because of your hustle, but because you've trusted in God's timing and aligned with His will. The blessings you've been striving for are now positioned to come to you effortlessly. All you need to do is step into alignment, trust the process, and watch as heaven brings everything you need directly to you. No more fighting, no more struggling. Your blessings are coming to you, not through your striving, but through your divine alignment with heaven's perfect plan. And as you step into that flow, you'll see just how effortless it is when you allow God to position you exactly where you're meant to be. Psalm 23:1. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. This verse is a powerful declaration of divine provision and security. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. It's a reminder that when you are aligned with God's purpose and follow His lead, you will have everything you need, not just materially, but spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. As your shepherd, God provides for you in every way. He leads you beside still waters, restores your soul, and guides you along the paths of righteousness. When the world tells you that you need more, that you have to strive and struggle to achieve, this verse speaks a different truth. With God as your shepherd, you lack nothing. Every need, every desire, every longing you have. He already knows it, and He is ready to provide it in His perfect timing. This isn't just about physical provision. It's about peace of mind, security, and confidence in knowing that God is in control. In times of uncertainty or struggle, remember that God's provision is more than enough. You are not in this alone. The same God who created the universe is walking with you, guiding you, and ensuring that you lack nothing. The moment you step into alignment with His will, He becomes your shepherd. And you will find that all your needs are met, not just in ways you expect, but in ways that are far greater than you could have imagined. So, when you feel the weight of striving, of working endlessly to achieve or acquire, remember Psalm 23:1. You are not lacking, because God is your shepherd. You have everything you need in Him, and as you trust in His guidance and His provision, you will find rest and fulfillment in His care. The blessings you seek will come, not from your struggle, but from your trust in the one who leads you. The time of vindication is upon you. Every word that was spoken against you, every obstacle placed in your path, every attempt to diminish or discredit you, it is all about to be exposed in the light of your rise. For so long, you may have wondered if the people who doubted you would ever be proven wrong, or if the injustices done to you would ever be made right. But let me tell you, your rise is not just about your success, it is about the truth being revealed. What was meant to hold you down will now be the platform from which you elevate. You've spent years, perhaps even decades, in preparation. In the unseen, in the quiet moments, you've been transformed. The trials, the betrayals, the disrespect, they were not meant to break you. They were meant to forge you, to prepare you for this moment of vindication. And now, the very things that tried to destroy you will be the stepping stones to your elevation. Your rise will be undeniable. And when it happens, people will have no choice but to recognize the power that was always inside of you and the truth that heaven's hand was upon you all along. The world may have told you that revenge is the answer, that you need to fight back against those who hurt you. But divine justice works differently. Your victory isn't in getting back at your enemies or proving them wrong. Your victory is in walking in the divine purpose that has always been meant for you. God's justice will be the ultimate revenge. What they meant for your harm will become the very thing that catapults you into your destiny. When you rise, it will be clear to everyone. You were never weak. You were just being redefined, reshaped, and repositioned by heaven's hand. The people who tried to hold you down, who misunderstood your silence, who thought you would never overcome, they will watch in disbelief as you rise. The truth will be revealed, and the fear they had of your potential will come to fruition. You were never the failure they imagined you to be. You were the underdog that heaven had already chosen to win. And now, when your vindication comes, it will be so powerful that they won't be able to speak a word. Romans 12:19. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, "It is mine to avenge, I will repay." As you step into the season of divine vindication, remember that everything you have gone through, every moment of struggle, every tear, and every silent prayer has been part of God's perfect plan to elevate you. What once seemed like setbacks are now the foundation of your rise, and what the enemy meant for harm, God is using for your good. The world may have underestimated you, but heaven has been working behind the scenes, preparing you for a destiny that will leave everyone speechless. Your rise is not just about your success, it's about revealing the truth of who you are in Christ, the child of God, destined for greatness. Now is the time to walk in the authority that heaven has placed on your life. The doors are opening, the blessings are coming, and you are stepping into the fullness of your divine purpose. What was hidden will be revealed, and what was broken will become the platform from which you soar. Heavenly Father, I thank you for the divine preparation and transformation you have been working in my life. I thank you for your faithfulness in refining me through every trial, and for your promises of elevation and vindication. I trust that you have a perfect plan for my life, and I surrender all my worries, my doubts, and my fears to you. Lord, I ask that you continue to guide me as I step into this new season. May your hand of favor rest upon me, and may your wisdom and strength fill my heart. Help me to walk in your timing, to trust your will, and to embrace the purpose you've set before me. Father, I pray that my rise will be a testimony of your power, your grace, and your justice. May I always give you the glory for every blessing, every opportunity, and every victory that comes my way. I declare that my identity is secure in you, and I will not strive in my own strength, but will be aligned with your perfect purpose. I claim the blessings you have prepared for me, and I trust that your will for my life will be revealed in its perfect time. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.